Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. When I left the YMCA, I started going to college. I went and done an access course to health professions to become a nurse, and I started doing a university degree, moved out and lived independently, and I've had a child, and I've basically learned to be an adult just sooner than everybody else. Before coming to the YMCA, I lived with my mum, and we moved around a lot when I was a child, and I eventually ended up having to live with my dad and my step family, but we didn't get on, so my dad asked me to leave. I was under 18, so I was still a child, and I was told by Southend Council at the time I could potentially move into hostel and go on a list and get supported accommodation that helps for young people, or potentially go into the foster system because I was still underage. Very overwhelmed because I'd only been in a room where it was just a bed and a sink and a wardrobe and a fridge. And coming here, I had my own bathroom, my own kitchen, my own bedroom, and a couple of people already had lived here. So, and they said it was one of the best things they'd done because they got a lot of help and they was able to still have a life. So I found one of my main concerns was being able to support myself, budgeting, because I've gone from paying £80 a week as emergency accommodation to reduced, and then having to make sure I had everything else in between for the month. Challenges, I had a lot of erratic behaviour, so and a lot of anger. So managing that, and there's been a couple of times where poor John out there had to intervene. So I suppose it's been managing how to be mature enough beyond before being an adult. So I had a key worker who we saw every week, and you had weekly meetings and you set goals at the time, and you had to mark yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident you were at needing little to maximum support, and you'd evaluate it all the time. And eventually, if it was a goal that you wanted to achieve, you would make little steps on how you would do it, and you could talk about it, and it would always be looked into, so it was always changing. And if you ever had a problem, you could always just ask for help, or if they could point you in the right direction. I found out I was expecting my daughter, and I was only 19, and I'd only lived here 2 years. And they were always helpful. They got me enrolled on a cooking course with Choc here, and I learnt how to cook for myself. And they helped me budget weekly what letters that came through, what I had to actually deal with, because I would leave it and often get myself into arrears or debt, for example, because I didn't know how to look at the paper. So they helped me look through it all and set up plans so I can sort that out so it didn't become too much. And then they helped me look for a new property to move into. And so even right until the end, I wasn't just left on my own. Again, how to budget, so I know what I have to buy first. So rent's always first. Food, gas, electric, any bills that are outgoing you have to pay. And again, habits wise is I had a habit of I would enroll in a course and never turn up. I would never complete it, and I even had staff drop me to courses at one point because I just wouldn't go. So they kept pushing me and nagging at me to go until I went. So eventually I just learned, if I just do it, I've got no choice. I've either got to do it or I'll fail, and I can only blame me. So I suppose it's getting up and going and just doing it. But they helped me to get it. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where I had to start getting job seekers before it came universal credit, and I got sanctioned a couple of times. I was really poorly one time and I didn't stay for the appointment, and I had no money, so I started panicking and thinking, how was I going to pay rent? How was I going to afford food? And they were really helpful. They just kept a tab on how much I'd owe when I got paid back, and what I could do in the meantime to get help for food and washing tokens, things like that. So they were, and in future it kind of showed me why I had to keep on top of it, because if I didn't, this is what I'd be stuck with, and there's not always going to be help. So because I know what it's like to be a young person that has no one to go to, so I know how it feels to be a young adult or be in a position that you didn't expect to be in. So I can empathise a lot more, tolerance a bit more. And I suppose I didn't know until I moved here. It takes everyone's different. There's always a walk of life, and there's always somebody worse off than me. Yeah. Rather than sit and think, oh, it's always, woe's me. Actually, there's someone next door that's probably got it 10 times harder. So in a way, it's helped me see the bigger picture. So rather than focus on everything negative, I've actually got to look at things that are going well and what I can make better, and I can only do it for myself. So now I recently, and up until recently, I was a HCA at hospital. So I still done what I like to do. I had to finish my course halfway through, so I never completed my degree, but I could still carry on using the skills I'd learned. I now help volunteer for a scout group, and I am now a cub and scout leader. And I help children aged 8 to 14 learn life skills, make friendships, and to gain new experiences in ways that maybe they wouldn't normally be able to do. I would like to go back and finish my degree, and I would like to make a difference in today's young people, because a lot of it, it's, even when I was younger, it's nowhere near as what it's like now, and I think some of them need a bit of a wake-up call, because it's not always going to be what they're living right now. I suppose to get kids to see that there is another side of life that they don't always have and see. When I lived here, I was undiagnosed with ADHD and autism, and I was always told I had anxiety and depression, and I really suffered. And now, knowing now that it wasn't always my fault, and it wasn't always it wasn't me that wasn't controlling it, has made a big difference. So, and I used to think it's never going to get better, it won't get better, and I'm proof it does. Because I actually live by myself. I manage a lot of things on my own. I have tried it. I went back to education, and I actually finished a course to get onto university, which I didn't do before. And I at least try before I give up. At least before I just go, no, I'm not doing it. And I am very stubborn and I won't do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I actually try now at least once or twice before I get the ump and give up. But at least I try. So I think I'd rather have somebody try it and give it a go, and then feel they, try again at a different time or when it's suitable. But it does get better if you carry on. Because I honestly don't think I honestly thought I wouldn't be here before 30. If the option's there, take it. Because there's always somebody there that's going to be able to help. And you're not on your own. So I would rather be shown 1,000 ways of doing things or getting any bit of help than just sitting there plodding along, panicking, not having a single person who I'd talk to about it. And you can make a lot of friends, you can gain a lot of skills, and it pushes you to do better for yourself. And even if you don't want to do better for yourself, you should try and at least do better for yourself. That I'm still here. I didn't think I'd be alive by 30 because I was so miserable, and I didn't think there was any point because everybody else had given up on me. So what was the point if everybody else is giving up on you? What's the point in being here? Because you've got nothing going for yourself. But if you carry on, you don't know. So I suppose keep going and actually ask for help, because I learned the hard way and didn't ask for help, and it was only till it got too much. I had to learn that it's okay to actually go, yeah, I am struggling. You can't take the world on by yourself. So I suppose, yeah, keep going and try and just give it a go. You've lost nothing by trying.
So you mentioned something about asking for help. So is it just your friends, family that you approach, or someone else as well? So who do you seek help from?
So friends and family, but not everybody has that. So even people like extended family or people that you class as family. I've got friends that are closer than my family sometimes. Work, if you go to work, there's always someone to talk to at work. There's there's counselling, there's everything. There's always somebody that's willing to listen, and there's always someone that can point you in the right direction if they don't know. So yeah, anybody. I'll talk to anybody and everybody. So
just you need to be comfortable sharing that.
Yeah, and even if you're not comfortable, it's only in your own time. You don't have to share everything. You can just say that something's bugging you. You don't want to talk about it, but can you help me? What can I do to make myself feel better until I'm ready to?
Yeah.
I've come a long way from a very troubled child who thought the world was against them and who was ready to give up. That's all I could think of. And without the YMCA, I don't think I would have got very far. Everybody should know what people do, especially young like the YMCA, like youth accommodation, because you don't hear of it very often that kids do end up having to be here, because it's not what you normally would plan. But unfortunately, life has different things. So, and I don't think many people would know that you guys are here unless you're involved in it or work for them. I think rather than writing somebody off straight away because they are different or they've got troubles, then how can you know what they're going to be able to achieve unless you give them a chance?
Yeah.